from JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 20th, 2017. Two representatives of the Israeli government are in Washington this week. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Chief of Staff Yoav Horowitz and political advisor Jonathan Schachter are joining Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, to continue discussions with the U.S. administration on a number of issues, including Israeli construction in the West Bank. They met with U.S. Special Envoy Jason Greenblatt, who is recently back from his trip to Israel, to try and reach an understanding on the issue. The United States released a statement today accusing a United Nations body of ongoing bias against Israel. The State Department said it would boycott the United Nations Human Rights Council's discussion today about alleged human rights abuses committed by Israel and vote against any resolutions relating to that panel discussion. Spokesman Mark Toner said the United States strongly and unequivocally opposes the existence of the UN Human Rights Council's Agenda Item 7, which is an ongoing subject on the Council's agenda, which accuses Israel of human rights abuses against the Palestinians. Toner said today's actions in the Council are yet another reminder of that body's long-standing bias against Israel. He said no other nation has an entire agenda item dedicated to it at the Council. The continued existence of this agenda item is among the largest threats to the credibility of the Council. Toner said it does not serve the interests of the Council to single out one country in an unbalanced manner. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, welcomed the U.S. boycott of today's session. And staying with the Israeli ambassador, Danon on Friday welcomed the resignation of Rima Khalaf, who sits at the head of the UN body which released a report last week accusing Israel of apartheid. As we reported to you, Khalaf stepped down after pressure from UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres to withdraw the report. Danon wrote on his Twitter account that Khalaf has worked to harm Israel and advocate for the BDS movement for years, referring to the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. He said her removal from the UN was long overdue. Israel's Air Force struck a weapons shipment which was making its way to terror group Hezbollah. The incident happened in Syrian territory, and in response, the Syrians launched anti-aircraft missiles at the Israeli F-15 jets. The anti-aircraft missile was then shot down by the Israeli Arrow missile defense system. This was reportedly the first time for the use of the defense battery to intercept a Syrian anti-aircraft missile. IDF head of Aerial Defense Command Zvika Chayamovich said, "We detected a ballistic threat to the state of Israel. The rules and guidelines are clear to neutralize and intercept any threat that endangers the residents of Israel." Well, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in China this week. He is leading a business delegation for a 3-day visit to the nation. The group met with Chinese leaders as well as with the heads of several large corporations in China and signed several economical and technological agreements. The 3-day visit marks 25 years since Israel and China established diplomatic relations. And Israeli President Reuven Rivlin is in Vietnam this week. Rivlin met with his counterpart at the presidential palace in Hanoi and wrote on his Facebook page that over the next few days, "I will meet with the heads of the state, and along with the Israeli Economic Security Delegation, we will meet with the heads of the domestic economy in order to advance the cooperation between the countries." The family of a former Nazi living in the United States is asking for evidence against him to be released. Andrei Karkuk, who is the son of accused Nazi commander Michael Karkuk, maintains that his father is innocent of charges that he was a commander in a Ukrainian unit that murdered Polish civilians during the Holocaust. The younger Karkuk has asked the 2 Democratic senators from his home state of Minnesota to intervene in his father's case, claiming reportedly that the evidence was fabricated by Russian intelligence. As we reported to you, an arrest warrant was issued by a local court in Poland against the 98-year-old, which is the first step in the extradition process. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, March the 20th at 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. At 7:30, artist Alyssa Wurtzman talks about her painting based on biblical text in a seminar from the Academy for Jewish Religion. At 8, painter, sculptor, and graphic designer Norman Gorbatid talks about Judaism and its inspiration for his work in a program at Fairfield University's Bellarmine Museum. At 9, Irvin Unger talks about the life and work of illustrator Arthur Schick with Mark Golub on L'chaim. And at 10, a discussion with renowned architect Daniel Libeskind and author Amos Oz from the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, B'nai B'rith International Special Advisor on Latin American Affairs Adriana Camisar talks about the 1992 bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires on the anniversary, which was just marked on Friday, as well as the 1994 attack on the Jewish Center in the city and the death of Special Prosecutor Alberto Nisman. When I sit in for Mark Golub on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 20th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.